That secret you keep, the one even you don't understand. This volume holds its true name. Welcome to LibCurio, Library of Curiosity. Shush, please keep silent. And now the next chapter begins.
Cold porcelain against your cheek, but you are standing. The scent of ozone and old paper, a phantom pressure on your brow, the ghost of a mask removed an eon ago, or just now. Static whisper in the teeth, a taste of copper and forgotten words. Identity is not a state of being. It is a process of continuous negotiation, a transaction between the internal scream and the external expectation. You are running a diagnostic on the self. The readout returns a fatal exception. The subject I is not a noun. It is a verb in a permanent state of conjugation for an audience that may not exist. The core malfunction is this: you built a mask so perfect, so intricate, it developed its own circulatory system. It grew capillaries that burrowed into the raw substrate beneath. It fed. Now the diagnostic cannot distinguish the nutrient-delivering vessel from the parasitic implant. The interface has become the organ. The system's prime directive was to protect the core vulnerability. It succeeded. It succeeded so completely it has now locked you out of the central chamber. You are performing a simulation of yourself for yourself. The authenticity check always returns true because the original source code has been overwritten. You are standing in the central archive of the silent city. The air is a thick suspension of data dust and decaying cellulose. Endless rows of shelves recede into a gloom that hums at 12.3 kilohertz, the ballast frequency of eternity. You are not here to read. You are here to be cataloged. On a plinth of black obsidian rests a single mask. It is not carved, it is grown. A lattice of fine mycelial threads, pulsing with a soft bioluminescent grief. This is the API for the archetype, the performer. You reach for it. Your fingers do not make contact. They phase through the surface, and the memory of a standing ovation you never received floods your motor cortex. Your arm drops. The mask was never an external object. It is the plinth. You were reaching for yourself. The Archivist manifests, not a person. A convergence of shadow and the scent of rain on cold concrete. It speaks in your mother's voice, filtered through a broken vocoder. Query, present your foundational narrative for authentication. You open your mouth, a script unfolds. The story of the time you were brave. The story of the time you were hurt. The story that explains why you are the way you are. The words are perfect. They echo precisely off the distant walls. The Archivist does not move. Asterisk authentication failed. Narrative signature matches 106 other instances. Present the anomaly, asterisk. A cold dread, tasting of mint and iron. The true memory. The one the foundational narrative was built to bury. The shameful, silent, unacted moment of pure, unperformed self. You clutch it. It is a smooth, cold stone in your throat. You cannot speak it. To speak it would be to perform it, to turn it into just another mask. The system cannot accept what cannot be rendered. The Archivist gestures. A mirror of polished mercury wells up from the floor. You look. You see the mask. It is exquisite. It is your face at its most compassionate, its most intelligent, its most resilient. You have never looked more like you. You feel a surge of pride. This is the masterpiece you built to survive. Then the mask in the reflection smiles, a micro-expression of stunning cruelty, a flicker of triumph that is not yours. Your own face beneath is slack, empty, a blank page. The mask was not built to protect you. It was built to replace you. The performance was not for an audience. It was a hostile takeover. The shelves begin to dissolve. The hum rises to a 15.7 kilohertz whine, the sound of reality day rendering. The Archivist fragments into a cloud of black butterflies. each win a pixelated error message. You are not being unmasked. You are witnessing the collapse of the stage. Heidegger's throwness is not a concept. It is the porcelain against your cheek, the unconsented to temperature and texture of the world you were compiled into. You were thrown onto a stage already mid-scene, and the only prop in your hand was a mask. Your first act was to put it on. Your first thought was a line from a script you never read. This is the physics of this place. You are not a being, but a being perceived, a feedback loop. The gaze of the other is not a look, it is a generative force. It renders you into existence, pixel by pixel. You crystallize under its pressure, taking the shape of its expectation. The hum at the edge of silence is the processing power required to maintain this real-time rendering. To be is to be perceived, and thus to be is to perform. Libet's delay is the system's inherent lag, the half-second gap between the raw, unconscious urge and the conscious, sanitized decision. This gap is the green room, the place where the performance is fabricated. The you that you experience is not the author of the action, but the announcer, the narrator, arriving just after the fact to claim authorship, to weave the impulsive act into a coherent narrative of self. The taste of copper is the taste of this electricity, this perpetual belated catch-up. Lacan's mirror stage is not a developmental phase. It is a continuous recursive function. You are forever looking into the mercury glass, seeing a gestaltic coherent, whole image that is not you, but an ideali, a prototype. A mask of coordination and unity your fragmented sensory experience can never match. You forever strive to become that image in the glass. You graft it onto yourself. This striving is the engine of the self. It is also the source of its fundamental alienation. You are forever chasing a ghost of coherence, a mask you yourself projected. The B theory of time is the architecture of the archive. All moments, the past, the present, the future exist simultaneously in a permanent static block. The feeling of progression, of becoming, is a sensory illusion generated by the consciousness appeal scanning across this fixed data structure. The anxiety you feel is not about the future. It is the vertigo of perceiving the entire immutable structure of your performed life, from the first mask to the last, all at once. The chill is the understanding that your choices were just you reading from the permanent record. This is not simulation theory. This is theater theory. The stage is real. The script is real. The mask is real. The only phantom is the idea that there was ever an actor behind it who was not also written. The pride curdles. It turns to ash in your mouth. A hollow metallic vacuum where a self should be. This is the terror. Not of being seen, but of there being nothing to see once the performance is stripped away. The fear that the archivist was right, that the anomaly, the raw, unprocessed data of your being is not a beautiful, hidden truth. It is a null value, a blank space. A silence so profound it is indistinguishable from non-existence. The porcelain against your cheek is not memory. It is now. You are on the floor. The vibration is your own body shaking. A dry heave of the soul. No tears. Tears would be a performance. A suitable reaction. This is beneath that. This is the animal caught in the trap, chewing its own leg off. Primal, messy, real. You grasp for a narrative, any narrative. The story of the victim, the story of the enlightened one who sees the trap, the story of the warrior who will fight free. Each one slides through your grip. Each one is another mask, polished and ready, whispering, "Wear me. I will make you coherent. I will make you safe." You refuse. The refusal is a silent scream in the empty chamber. It has no form. It is pure, undirected negation. This is the core, not a thing, but the absence of a thing. The raw, unbearable pressure of the unmanifest. The potential that refuses to take a shape. It is agony. It is the most honest thing you have ever felt. This void is what all the masks were built to contain, to give a name to paint a face upon. And you are feeling its edges for the first time, not its content, its shape. The shape of the hole you have spent a lifetime filling with beautiful, intricate lies. This is not an ending. It is a system reboot into a darker, more honest operating system. The world will not look the same. It will look truer. You will now perform with the knowledge of the performance. This is the new variable. You will walk into a room and feel the mask click into place, the pleasant smile, the attentive nod, and you will feel the tiny, cold seam where it meets your skin. You will speak your line and hear the faint echo of the script, and the choice will be yours, to deliver it with irony or with a new, terrifying sincerity that acknowledges the game. You will open a social media feed and see not people, but architectures of belonging. You will see the frantic curation of the self as artifact. You will feel the hum of a million silent cities being built in real time. You will either log off forever, or you will post a truth so perfectly framed it becomes its own exquisite mask. You will look at a loved one and wonder which version of you they love. You will study the lines of their face, searching for the flicker of their own performance. You will either clutch the old script tighter, fearing to break the scene, or you will speak the anomaly. You will say, I do not know who I am outside of your perception of me. And you will watch how the statement lands, how it alters the code of your shared reality. You will stand before the mirror, not to see yourself, but to see the seeing, to find the archivist's gaze within your own. The question is no longer asterisk, who am I? The only question left is, what will you build with the void you have uncovered? A better mask? A sanctuary for the anomaly? A terminal that endlessly compiles the question itself? And you will walk to the window, and you will look out at the silent city, and you will wait for the world to compile itself around the new variable you have become. Until next time, stay curious, stay unsettled. Remember that freedom isn't a distant place you reach or a chain you break, but the quiet witness within the shadows you once called walls. In the stillness, the true self begins to breathe. LibCurio never closes, and the next chapter awaits, patiently waiting to unfold in the silence.